Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Daytona International Speedway, as we are here to begin season number 2 of the Wawa Pro Series. It's bigger, it's better than ever, and we have custom cars once again on the channel in this series. And we're going to have a 25 race season with 30 drivers in the field. So a lot to look forward to this season here in the Wawa Pro Series. And it all begins tonight with the Daytona Sprint, the qualifying race for Saturday's Daytona 160K. It'll be 40 laps on Saturday. Today, it is only 14 laps. Of course, no pit stops in tonight's event, but this will determine the starting lineup for Saturday's race. Of course, these sprint races are used as the starting lineup races for the feature events, and they are determined by the fastest lap in the event. So whoever has the fastest lap here tonight will start on the pole on Saturday and also receive a bonus point towards the championship for starting on the pole on Saturday. Slightly different points format this year, explained it last night. And those who start on poles for the feature events this season will receive the bonus point. There will not be a bonus point for the fastest lap in the feature event anymore. That's where it was last year. We moved that around. Another thing we moved around, and actually compressed, I guess you can say, is the feature point system. 12 points to the winner for the feature event, 9 points to second, 8 points to third, and so on. But it's still the top 10 of finishers in each feature race that receive championship points. However, the sprint races are still the same. 3 points to the winner, 2 points to second, and 1 point to third. And that is what we are doing here tonight in this Daytona Sprint for the first race of the season here in the Wawa Pro Series. First of 50 total races, 25 sprint races, and 25 feature events here this season. The starting lineup is determined by the points finishing order from last season, and then the amount of wins on the channel. Any tiebreakers were broken randomly, with the exception of those who do not have wins on the channel starting in this race. They were determined by the amount of starts made on the channel. Only 5 drivers in this field have never won a race before on this channel, interestingly enough. And I do believe one of those drivers was in the series last year, that being Brendan Wilmington. So only 4 guys in the back of the field there who haven't won. 5 drivers in total in this field who have never won a race before on the channel. A very good opportunity for all of them to get a win at some point this season. Of course, the sprint races do count as race victories here in the Wawa Pro Series, at least towards the overall channel total. So those guys definitely going to be going all out for the race victories this season in this 25 feature race season. But with that, that means that our defending champion, Jesse Turner, is going to start on the front row on the pole for the first sprint race of the season for a second straight year. He did the same thing last season, and then he went on to win the championship. He'll be starting alongside Hunter Braxton, who was third in points last season, Thomas Troxell, Chris Reynolds, Dylan Young, Seth Cole, Vlad Prescott, Zach Winkle, Trey Wright, Zachary Fitzwater, William Brock, and Brendan Wilmington. Those are the 12 drivers who are returning from last season. Everybody else in their first run of the Wawa Pro Series. Let's go ahead and get this race started. We'll get these guys to roll off here from the Daytona International Speedway. Like I mentioned, Jesse Turner will be starting from the pole position here in the Daytona Sprint. Driving for Dracoan Racing Enterprises, Owen Miles, the owner of this team, alongside him, Hunter Braxton, driving for Nathan Orman Motorsports. Thomas Troxell will be driving for Colin Cropley's team, Cropley Motorsports. He'll be alongside Chris Reynolds, who's back in the 22, driving for Collins Racing. Dylan Young driving for Otter Island Motorsports in the Wawa machine, alongside the Trinity River Racing machine of Seth Cole. Titan Fury Motorsports returns with Vlad Prescott behind the wheels with number 71. And King Hart Family Racing is back with Zach Winkle in the number 90. Andrews Racing with Trey Wright there in the number 69. And then Zachary Fitzwater for Appalachia Motorsports and Caleb Rose's team. And then you have the number 23 there for BP Daytona Racing, Andrew Williams' team, starting alongside another ride for the Trinity River Racing team in Brendan Wilmington. Nicholas Samadio's in this race in the number 57. You have Alex Inro starting alongside him, Brad Stover and Ashlyn Boyd, Eric Monaco, and the number 47 of Justin Zidell. You have Fisher G and Ryan Madden returning to racing on the channel. Joey Hightower, Chase Buck, Landon Smith Jr., and Ben Young Scott Upton, Christopher Alphaby, Roberto Crown Jr., Gary Corelli, and then the only two drivers making their first career starts here tonight, Tyreek Hartman in number 61 and Jacob Walker in the number 13. But a very stout field this season in the Wawa Pro Series. A lot of huge names. I think these guys are going to have a very interesting season. A lot of experience, and a lot of guys going to be going after it in each and every race this season. And every point matters because you don't get as many points for winning a feature race anymore, but you get the same amount here in the sprint race. So these sprint races are going to mean a lot more towards the championship than they did last year. We'll have to see what Jesse Turner and Hunter Braxton can do here tonight. The pace car is down the pit lane. Season 2 of the Wawa Pro Series is underway, and we're green flag racing at Daytona. And we will showcase the fastest lap, as that will determine the starting lineup for the feature event on Saturday. The driver with the fastest lap will receive a championship point, and then the top 3 finishers of this event will receive championship points in their respective positions. Here comes Thomas Troxell to the inside of Jesse Turner for the race lead. Help from Dylan Young and Trey Wright on that inside lane. And Troxell looking to pick up right where he left off. He won the last 2 events of the season at Darlington, the sprint race and the feature event there. And he's looking to get another race victory here at the Daytona International Speedway. Dylan Young there, Trey Wright, a good push on that inside lane. William Brock won this sprint race 1 year ago, or 1 season ago, I should say. It's about half a year ago when he won it. But Thomas Troxell will lead lap number 1 here at the Daytona International Speedway. The fastest lap going to Jacob Walker in the number 13. And I think it's a very good opportunity for these guys in the back of the field to start up front on Saturday, because you get a very good push, a very good pull in the back of this field with the draft, and I think that's going to definitely give an advantage to some of these guys in the back of the field. The bonus point up for grabs for a lot of those guys looking to get this fastest lap here in this event. Dylan Young in the Wawa machine in the Wawa Pro Series. Out front in the number 79, Trey Wright right behind him, and an issue on Zach Winkle. And that will more than likely put Zach Winkle at the back of the field for Saturday's race, because he's not going to get another fastest lap in. Nicholas Samadio goes to the top of the board, but Winkle, oh, he was already off the pace, I do believe, that last lap there. Only a 47.280 right there for him, and Zach Winkle looks like he's got an issue, and he's going to be done for the night here in this Daytona Sprint. That's a tough break for him. How about Samadia, though? Already side-by-side with Trey Wright for the 2nd position. He started 13th in this race, and in just 2 laps, he moved his way all the way to the front. And he has the fastest lap. Justin Zidell is 2nd quickest, then Brad Stover, Dylan Young, and the 71 of Vlad Prescott. That's the top 5 quickest so far here in the Daytona Sprint. And that's going to change once again as the number 55 machine of Joey Hightower, and then Jacob Walker again back to the top of the board. Number 13 with a really good car there for BP Daytona Racing. And Walker in his first career start on the channel, looking to possibly start on the pole position in his first feature event of the season. Troxell back to the inside of Dylan Young. Only the top 3 finishers receive championship points here. And that's going to mean these guys are going to be going all out for those 3 points. Vlad Prescott's up here on the inside lane. You got Brad Stover there as well. Alexander Rowe, Zachary Fitzwater. Of course, I have a lot of these guys who were running last season up front because they started up front in this race. But the starting lineup for Saturday's feature event is going to be much different than the way they started here tonight in this Daytona Sprint. The number 24, Ben Young, who has 1 career win on the channel, a Cup Series win in Homestead last year. And he is here in the number 24 machine. That is Trackhouse Racing, owned by Reggie Fogelman. And Chase Buck just ahead of him there. 2nd quickest right now in the 09 machine for Hamill Racing Enterprises. The all-time winningest owner on the channel, Derek Hamill, the owner of that team right there. Fitzwater moving 3 wide to the inside of Ashlyn Boyd and Jesse Turner. Turner, a pole sitter for this sprint race, has fallen back just a little bit right there in the outside lane. And mainly double wide throughout the majority of the field. Lots of times you see a lot of 3 wide here at Daytona. Not quite seeing it yet in this sprint race, as they know this is simply just a start for the Daytona 160K, the feature event. These guys will really be going all out for. Thomas Troxell there in that inside lane, trying to get an advantage here on Dylan Young. And number 21 doing a good job so far, holding on to this race lead. He's been up front. Same with Dylan Young. These 2 guys, Troxell and Young, have been up front a majority of this event so far. We'll have to see if one of those drivers ends up getting the race victory. Hunter Braxton, Nicholas Samadillo right behind those guys. Nicholas Samadillo driving for Ryan Durrani Incorporated, the team that won the Indianapolis 250 less than a week ago. And they're going to have Nicholas Samadillo and Landon Smith Jr. driving their cars this season. Excited to see what they can do. Mr. Edge back here in one of the main series. Of course, he runs in the Haas IndyCar Series, but back in the Cup Equivalent Series on the channel, which is great to have him back, driving on number 57. Definitely intrigued at how orderly they are up front here, but we do have some 3 wide, kind of midway through the field. Landon Smith Jr., Jacob Walker has been moving his way through the field very nicely in this race. I don't know if he'll end up getting into the podium positions for any points, but he may very well get that fastest lap. Of course, it looks like that fastest lap may have stalled out just a little bit right there. Ben Young looking to start on the pole and get that first bonus point for starting on the pole this season. Brendan Wilmington in the middle there with all that. Seth Cole, Eric Monaco's kind of falling back just a little bit there in the number 75 machine. You got Tyreek Hartman there on the inside lane. Scott Upton in the 0-2. And up front, Zachary Fitzwater with an opportunity to make it 4 wide. Vlad Prescott is making sure he has that opportunity in the 71 machine, but they will keep it together for now. Yeah, this is not a race you want to wreck in. Only 14 laps. It's just the qualifier event. And there are points at stake, though, for those top 3, though. Nicholas Samadillo in the number 57 trying to shoot down to the inside of Dylan Young. And Thomas Troxell has cleared the 79 for the race lead, but now Samadillo moving to the inside of Troxell for the race lead here with Hunter Braxton, Vlad Prescott on that inside lane. And here comes Jacob Walker. That 13 is fast. His first ever start on the channel. Will he win in his first ever start? That's what Nicholas Samadillo did 7 years ago in this very place. Won in his first ever official start on the channel. He's 3 wide for the race lead as Hunter Braxton had a nose to the inside of the 57 and the 21. And Braxton looking to take this race lead away from Troxell and Samadillo, but Troxell holding an outside lane to his advantage. 5 laps to go here in the Daytona Sprint for the Wawa Pro Series season number 2. Thomas Troxell in that outside lane doing an excellent job holding on to this race lead. It's really starting to jam up now. We're 3 wide throughout the entire field. Watch out for those guys on that inside lane. They could find themselves up front. Troxell has been hard to beat so far in this race. But Hunter Braxton, Vlad Prescott, they were 2 guys who were right up there in points with them last year, and they could have a great opportunity at possibly getting around this 21 for this race victory. Remember, only the top 3 finishers received championship points in this sprint race. Those points could go a long ways to the end of the season. Ben Young looks like he's going to hold on to the fastest lap. It has essentially stayed stagnant since they posted that fastest lap earlier on. So looking like Ben Young will get that other bonus point towards the championship for winning the pole here for the Daytona 160K. But who will win the Daytona Sprint? Get these 3 points towards the championship. Thomas Troxell doing a great job. We're going to go 3 in a row here in this series. Oh boy, Hunter Braxton and Nicholas Samadillo almost 4 wide off the exit of turn number 4. And they're really getting squirrely in the back there, and around they go. Alexander Rowe, Gary Corelli, and Eric Monaco in the 75, and Ben Young, who has the fastest lap in this race, with damage in the 24. And I do believe, since we are 3 laps to go, that is going to cut the race short. I do not believe they will get back to racing. Thomas Troxell won the race back to the line. Make sure he officially did, and yes, Troxell out front. And I think he'll get the race victory with Dylan Young in second and Hunter Braxton in third, the 3 drivers in the podium position for this event. That's a shame right there. We could have finished this race out. Alexander Rowe, his return to stock car racing. He's got significant damage on the 76. Eric Monaco got caught up there as well in the 75. And then Ben Young and Gary Corelli. Corelli made his debut in the Indy 250 last week. Stock car debut here today. And not quite as picture perfect as he'd like it to be in that Duracell number 18 for Nathan Orman Motorsports. Now, regardless of what happens, Ben Young will still be awarded the pole. It doesn't really matter too much for him, but they were really getting squirrely up front, and then behind them, everything went crazy. So we'll see if the lights do, in fact, go out here. And if they do not, that will officially be it for this Daytona Sprint. And I do believe that if it is at the end of the race, it is a 3-lap caution. Lights actually don't quite go out until we come around again for a half a lap. It's the way it kind of works with the 2-lap caution, but I do believe with 3 laps to go, it is a point of no return for these drivers. Well, an exciting finish there. Didn't know it was going to be the finish, but Thomas Troxell in the number 21 for Colin Cropley looking to win this Daytona Sprint. We'll make sure the lights stay on here, and if we take the white flag under caution, that will in fact do it here for the Daytona Sprint. Now, last season, I do believe we only had 1 caution in the 15 sprint races that we did. We're opening up the season with a caution here in the Daytona Sprint. And looks like Monaco will actually fail to finish in the 75 there for Otter Island Motorsports. The good thing for Monaco is he'll keep his starting position of 21st, so he won't actually start at the back of the field. That last place starting position will go to Zach Winkle in the number 90 machine. 23 of William Brock back in there as well. We'll go over. They're not going to get back into getting faster laps, so this is how they will start for Saturday's race. It'll be Ben Young and Chase Buck on the front row. Jacob Walker and Tyree Cartman. Their first ever starts. Great performances here. They're getting 3rd and 4th. Christopher Alphaby in the 55 of Joey Hightower in row number 3. The 73 machine of Landon Smith Jr. in the 76 of Alexander Rowe. Gary Corelli in the 59 of Zachary Fitzwater. Hunter Braxton. And then the number 67 of Ashlyn Boyd in row number 6. Row 7 will see Scott Upton and Justin Zeidel. Row 8 will see the 95 of Ryan Madden and the 21 of Thomas Troxell, our race winner here in the Daytona Sprint, assuming he gets back around, of course. The Madden and Troxell there in row number 8. Row number 9 will see the 42 machine of Roberto Crown Jr. and Fisher G. Row number 10 will see the 57 of Nicholas Samadillo and the 28 machine of Brennan Wilmington. Row number 11 will see Eric Monaco and Vlad Prescott. Row number 12 will be Brad Stover and Seth Cole. Row number 13 will be Dylan Young and Chris Reynolds. Row 14 will be the 5 of Jesse Turner and the 69 of Trey Wright. And then the final row will be the number 23 of William Brock and the number 90 of Zach Winkle. Of course, you see the replay in the corner of your screen for these sprint races. We will kind of skip doing the replays like we do for a feature event, just to kind of compress the time a little bit. This is still going to be a bit of a longer sprint race time-wise. But Thomas Troxell, Dylan Young, Hunter Braxton will be getting championship points here today. Thomas Troxell, right where he left off. He won the sprint race in the feature event at Darlington at the end of Season 1. And he's going to win the sprint race here at Daytona for 3 championship points. Ben Young will get the bonus point for winning the pole for the Daytona 160K. And our winner here, Thomas Troxell, will start 16th on Saturday in the 40-lap event here from the Daytona International Speedway. So half a lap to go under caution to end this Daytona Sprint. Tough break there for those guys involved, as you see what happened there in the corner of your screen earlier on. Eric Monaco caught up with Alexander Rowe, Gary Corelli, and Ben Young. First race for this next-gen car on the channel, and it delivered. Love these next-gen cars. I think they look great. And we're excited to see the other 49 events we'll have this season here in the Wawa Pro Series to determine the Wawa Pro Series champion. Well, it's under caution, but Thomas Troxell will get the race victory here in the Daytona Sprint. And he will receive 3 points towards the championship for this win. It's Troxell, Young, and Braxton on the podium here in the first sprint race of the season. Thomas Troxell gets another race victory on the channel. He wins at Daytona. Ben Young will be starting on the pole position for the Daytona 160K on Saturday. And you'll see right there the official standings and then the official starting lineup for the Daytona 160K there on the right-hand side of your screen. Troxell, Young, and Braxton, the 3 drivers receiving championship points. Of course, the finishing results of this race really don't matter outside of that. Monaco and Winkle, they're 29th and 30th, but those 3 drivers receiving championship points here in this Daytona Sprint. Top 10 finishers will receive championship points in the Daytona 160K on Saturday. Excited to see how it all goes down, but I'm also excited for tomorrow. Hers Dash Series, bringing this one back. Only 20 drivers in that field. But that means this guy's going to be extra chippy because they know they're going to have a lot of opportunities for race victories. Tomorrow's Daytona 100K for the Hers Dash Series, the first of 22 races for those guys this season. Excited to see who gets it done at Daytona for 25 laps tomorrow night here on AG, the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Congratulations to Thomas Troxell for grabbing the race victory here in the Daytona Sprint. We'll see you guys on Saturday for the Daytona 160K here in the Wawa Pro Series. Ben Young wins the pole. Here are the points for the Wawa Pro Series after the first sprint race. Yes, we're going to do that. And I will see you guys later.